Welcome to Watch Symposium. I'm Austin. All right, I'm at Narita Station, which is really close to Narita Airport. If you guys ever come to Japan, there's a good chance you'll fly into Narita Airport. I'm meeting the Air King tonight, and he's bringing his Rolex with him, which happens to be an Air King, a new Air King. All right, so that's it. Let's go find him. All right, guys. So I'm here with the Air King. What would you like me to call you?
Danny is fine.
All right. So this is Danny, and he's watches the channel, does writing. Can I put like links in your in the description?
Sure. Yeah.
So he's a he writes about Rolexes and whatnot, and so he's here and in Japan and has his Air King with him.
Yep, I do.
All right, and so I'm going to check it out, and he's going to check out the Explorer too, and we'll go right into it.
Okay. Is this the first time that you see the Air King in the flesh?
This is the absolute first time.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I've never actually seen it before. Just seen pictures and stuff.
All right, good.
All right, guys. So I'm at the table. Got the Explorer 2. And, all right, well, let me take this off. I'm going to give this to Danny. He's going to take a look at it and give his thoughts about it. But while he does that, I'm going to check out the Air King, right?
Here it is.
And this is the first time I've ever seen an Air King in the flesh. All right, and first of all, let's check out this clasp. Okay. Oh, that's got a nice click to it. Oh, yeah, that's nice. It's got a little moofy part here, and that's it's got the Rolex crown right there, and all right. Now this has got a really nice, quiet bracelet. It's not. You know, you hear people talk about the rattlesnake that is the old Rolexes. We'll get to the face in a second. Let's look at the side of the case. It's a polished case, polished side of the case. Of course, no hollow end links, solid end links. All right, and let's take a look. Now we're in a cafe, so you probably hear some coffee making in the background. All right, man. Well, okay, impressions. Well, you know, in another video I talked about the 3/6 and the 9, and then those minute markers, and about how it is sort of a 3D effect, and I stand by that, because looking at it now, I think it would be really hard to mix up those numbers. That was one of my complaints in the beginning. The 3 and the 6 and the 9, I mean, they're white gold, and they just kind of rise up, whereas the 5, the 10, all the minute markers, they're flatter on the dial. And yeah, that's one impression. Okay, so it looks like it's got a matte black dial, which is nice, and it's a little dark in here, but the Rolex green is, what can I say about it? I mean, it's really tasteful. I'm in a dark environment, but it's not as bright as I thought it would be, and that's kind of a good thing. Sometimes when you see in the pictures, it looks like a real brighter green, and that could be the lighting. No crown guards, which is kind of nice. Oh, he's got the crown pointing up. You guys know I have a thing about that. Let's look at the lugs. And I'm getting fingerprints all over it, so sorry about that.
No, you're fine.
Oh. Other impressions of it. Okay, let's see. Let me try to pop it on. Let's see if we have a. Does the Explorer 2 fit?
A little bit tight for me,
oh,
but
yeah?
So maybe this is too big for you, but I can.
All right. So what do you guys think? Yeah, that's It's really nice. You know, when this first came out, I wasn't sure how I felt about them going bigger. You know, I think the original Air King is what, 34?
34, yep.
34, okay, and that's quite a jump. I think if I was on paper, I thought it was too big of a jump. I probably would have gone, you know, I'm probably splitting hairs here, but 38. But I really think this is fine. This is you know, this is really like a modern size. So I can't fault the size at all. And you know, I guess in practice it makes it much more readable. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, part one. What do you guys think? All right. So here we are with Danny, and he's wearing the Air King. You want to give us a shot of the Air King?
Here you go.
All right. Now you gave me some interesting you know, impressions of the Air King.
Yeah.
Before, but you want to what? First of all, let me ask, what do you like about it?
Well, it's different. It's not a typical Rolex. I like that he has the gold and green logo. It's the only wristwatch, Rolex wristwatch that has the signature logo of Rolex. I like the green second hand. I like the satin look, which is very, it looks very, you know, 1940s, old-fashioned, the golden era of aviation. It's a very simple watch. So you set the time and the hour of the hand. You don't have to worry about the date or anything like that. Yes, you're missing the date, but it's just so simple. It's just so basic. And it has a heft to it. You feel like it's a solid watch, anti-magnetic, which for me, for my job, I love it. Just comfy. I like it.
And now it's got the brushed links.
Right.
If it had the polished links, would you be okay with that?
I would like it less. I
Okay,
get it that it'd be a little bit more dressy like the GMT Master 2, but I would like it less. I like it how it's really nicely polished, and I don't know if you can see it well. Well, you did a review, but no, I think it's perfect the way it is. Yeah.
All right. So now I think I might know what you're going to say, but what do you dislike about it? Is there anything you would change about it if you could, if you're giving advice to Rolex?
Probably, I would love, especially as somebody as a pilot who travels all the time, if I could just, you know, have a hour hand that kind of jumps from hour to hour without having to hack the watch.
All right,
that would be perfect, you know.
Like the Explorer 2.
Like the Explorer 2, GMT Master 2, it'd be nice to have a movement like that because now you can cross time zones. Boom, boom, you're done. You don't have to worry about stopping the clock.
A pilot watch should have that.
Yeah, I agree.
And you were saying that an Omega does that.
Yeah, that Seamaster 300 Master Coaxial, that Spectre James Bond watch has that. It's a diver's watch that you can just move the hour hand independently.
Yeah, it takes Rolex maybe a while to catch up.
All
They're
right.
pretty conservative.
Yeah,
but-
so Rolex, if you listen to this.
Yeah, absolutely. That should be the case either with this watch or with the Explorer, just the original Explorer.
Yeah.
Having that non-hacking hour hand that just jumps around, that would just, I mean, that's, if those are travel watches, that's sort of a necessity.
Yeah.
All right, so first question. So do you remember your first watch?
Yeah, well, I remember, I mean, I was a kid. I always wanted to wear a watch, a diver's watch that I wanted. But I think the watch that sticks the most in my mind is when I was 20 and I got my commercial pilot license, my dad bought me a Breitling. And it was not a fancy Breitling, but it was the best watch I've ever owned. And I wore that watch for like 20 years. I have like 10,000 hours on it, 125 crossings of the Atlantic with it. And it's been my only constant in my life for like 20 years.
And you have it still?
I still have it, and my son, who's 16, well, at 16, he starts to wear it. So he's wearing it like every day. He has it on a NATO, and now he's wearing it. Now, you know, when I turned 40, I got more into Rolex, and I learned the history of the Pan Am watch and GMT Master. So I moved on to Rolex, but for me, that's the most valuable watch in my collection because it's been with me for 20 years. My son is wearing it.
Yeah, that makes sense. And you got that when you were 20?
Yeah, it was when I was 20. Yeah.
And you know, when you were younger, like 10 or 15, did you go through a phase of Casios and that?
Exactly. Yeah, I had those digital watches, but I'm not a diver. But I always liked divers' watch for some reason because maybe I'm not a diver. So maybe guys who are not pilots want the pilot watch. You know, it makes you put it on the wrist and you feel like you're somebody else. Yeah.
You know, divers, for me, they've got this masculinity to them. They look like a man's watch.
It does, yeah.
With that. So now your dad gave you this Breitling. Is he a watch guy?
Not very much. No, he's not a watch guy. But you know, it was the pilot's watch, and I had just got my commercial pilot license, it's like, okay, here's a gift, and yeah.
All right, so that probably was your first proper watch. What about
Yeah.
your first Rolex?
First Rolex, so like I said, when I was 40, I learned about Pan Am, the GMT Master, and I got a 16700, so it's a GMT Master, 5-digit reference, but it's not called GMT Master 2, but it's GMT Master, you know, it's a transitional watch, and I got that in kind of like your GMT Master 2, it kind of looks the same way, but yeah.
And that the 24-hour hand is attached to the hour hand.
Exactly.
So you have to use the
Yeah.
bezel for that, which is kind of nice because you get some use out of your bezel.
Right,
Whereas,
right.
Whereas I always feel like, you know, having the movable bezel and the jumping hour hand.
Right.
You know, it's convenient, and I wouldn't
Yeah,
have
yeah.
it any other way. But
For sure, yeah.
you know, it's a bit overkill in a way.
Yeah.
So I've always
Yeah,
thought
yeah.
about, you know, GMT is kind of nice because you could, you know, just a straight GMT because you could actually use that bezel. All right, so all right, well, I'm going to spare the question of what do you like about watches, because we can probably wax on for hours about that. But just give me like, you know, just a few sentences about what you like about watches.
I think watches, I mean, especially an automatic watch, it's very poetic. I mean, as long as you live, as long as you move, the watch lives and moves, right? If you stop living, then it doesn't move anymore. So that's, and you know, the idea of time, I mean, the time passes, the story of life, and it's men's jewelry. I mean, really, I don't know, it's just so many things.
Would you feel the same way about a hand winding watch, or is it something about the automatic movement
I
that
think
just continues?
I think I would love to have a mechanical watch, like a manual mechanical watch, because the idea is like you put life back into it all the time by winding it every night, you know. So yeah, I've never owned one, but I'd like to try it. Maybe like the Speedmaster, like the Moon watch, you know.
Oh, all right. Now, kind of a strange question, but is there anything you dislike about watches or mechanical watches?
I don't know.
You're not an accuracy nut. That doesn't bother you if it's a little fast or a little slow.
So it bothers me. So you can spend a lot of money on a Rolex and then realize it's 5 seconds fast. And then it just kind of ruins the whole experience. You want it to be right on time. And I get it that quartz watches are much better and everything. But yeah, that's accuracy, I think, is a big deal. And I think maybe somebody once told me, well, if you worry about like those seconds a day that you're losing, maybe there's something wrong about your life, not about the watch. So you need to introspect about your life, you know. And that's a good point. Yeah.
Do you know the accuracy of that Air King?
I think it's supposed to be -2 to +2, but it's actually gaining, I would say, 4 seconds a day.
Okay. All right.
But at night, I just put it in, you know, like 6 o'clock, 6 down, and it kind of loses a couple seconds. So I can keep it within 2 seconds.
All right. Right on. Okay, so, well, what are your plans for the future as far as like watches go? Now you've got this Air King, and you've also got a two-tone Submariner.
Right.
And are you just gonna continue on with that, or do you have any plans? Or
Right. My plan is to be less passionate about watches.
Less
My plan is
passionate.
and my plan is to use a watch as like a tool. But I'm so focused and obsessed with watches that I tend to get tired of them, and I want to move on and buy something new, have that honeymoon phase and everything. But I'm just hoping, you know, this watch being simple enough, not too fancy, that I can just use it as a watch, a regular watch, not a luxury item. You
Right
know?
on. Okay.
Yeah, so I have no plans to buy any watch, but I look forward to Baselworld 2018.
yeah.
I think it's gonna be exciting. Hopefully, it's gonna be great.
All right. That could change things.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. Yeah. All right. Let's see. So, all right. Last question, because
Sure.
I think we're gonna get kicked out of here in a minute, guys. If you could choose one watch to last forever, what would it be? You have to service it. You have to take care of it. You couldn't sell it. It have to serve you for the rest of your life.
I think for me, the GMT Master 2 is the most complete watch. You can dive with it. You have the time zone. You have the dressy aspect of it with the polished sound link. Although I'm not crazy about it, but if you go to a wedding, you have this nice looking bracelet.
That's true.
So I think for me, it's the most altogether watch that if I have to be stuck on a desert island with, I would pick that GMT
That'd be a
Master
good-
too. Yeah.
That'd be a good choice. Now,
Yeah.
you wouldn't go with the BL&R. You'd go with the straight black.
Straight black with the green hand, the
Mm-hmm.
GMT hand, because the black is, for me, it's just, I think it looks better. The BL&R, you'll make more money in the long run, but for me, the black one looks better.
hear
It's just
ya.
opinion, yeah.
All right. Hey, thanks for
Sure.
the mini interview. Appreciate it.
Well, thanks for meeting with me.
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah.